The study guide for section 3.2, it's on angle measures. Just like all study guides, they give you a little information at the top. They show you what a right angle is. Then they compare an acute angle with a right angle. So an acute angle fits inside of a right angle. An obtuse angle does not fit inside of that right angle. So that obtuse angle is bigger than 90 degrees. It also tells you here that a straight angle has a measure of 180 degrees. We'll zoom out here for a sec. That's a little better. We're going to look at each of these angles and we're going to classify them. So we need this diagram. Angle FBH, so we're going to trace that with our finger or our pencil. Angle FBH would fit inside of a right angle. So notice how, actually I'll use a highlighter here to highlight the right angle. That orange angle is a right angle. Angle FBH clearly lives inside of that, so that would be acute. That means its measure has to be less than 90. Number 2, angle CBD is this angle. Again, I'm tracing it with my finger or my pencil. Now, this orange angle is a right angle, and this acute angle does not live inside of it, but if it was facing the same direction, it would live inside of it. So this other angle that sits right next to the orange angle, it's also a right angle. So that pink angle is also a right angle. Angle CBD lives inside of that, so it's acute as well. So its measure has to be less than 90. Angle ABC is this little acute angle that lives inside of the pink right angle. Angle ABG does not live inside of the pink right angle. It runs alongside of it, but it is clearly bigger than that right angle. So its measure is larger than 90. It's obtuse. Number 5, look at angle ABE. That is that pink angle. So that's a right angle. Angle EBH, that's your orange angle, which is also a right angle. Angle DBH does not fit inside of the orange right angle. It's obtuse. Number 8, angle FBG, that fits inside of that orange angle. It's acute. Okay, bottom section wants you to use a protractor to draw an angle having each measurement and then classify that angle as acute, obtuse, or right. You could actually do the classifications in the beginning if you would like. 110 degrees, that's definitely going to be an obtuse angle. Okay, there's an advantage to maybe classifying it first. So you know you're going to end up with a big fat angle. Number 10 is a 28 degree angle, so that's acute. And number 11, 90 degree angle, so that's a right angle. Okay, I may zoom in here just so we can get a better look at the protractor. Okay, so this is what your protractor looks like. There is a scale going from left to right and a scale going from right to left. So depending on which way you want your angle to open or face, that depends on which scale you use. So we want to draw a 110 degree angle. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw my protractor down on the paper anywhere. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to put a point right there. That's going to be the vertex of my angle. That's that little hole right in the center of that protractor. That's going to be your vertex. Okay. Now I'm also going to mark the 0 tougher than I thought. I'm going to mark the 0 on my protractor right here. That's the 0 using this bottom scale, the scale going right to left. So we're counting up. We need to get to 110 degrees. Here's 10, 20, 30, 40, all the way up to 110. Okay? You can't see the 110 right there. I don't want to move this too much. Here's the 110. Now it's in the frame. Make that little mark there. So I have a mark for my 110 and I have a mark for my 0. All I need to do now is connect them. Notice how I didn't run this ray all the way up to that mark. The arrowhead says it goes up there, so you don't need to draw it that long if you don't want to. Same thing with this 0 over here. I need to connect this with this, but I don't actually need to draw the ray that long. I can just make the ray that length and point the arrowhead because it's obviously going to go through that point because it goes on forever. That's a 110 degree angle. That's how you use your protractor. All you're doing is just setting it down. You're going to make a point in here for your vertex, a point on the 0, and then a point on the number of the angle that you want. And then you connect them back to the vertex. Okay, so we'll try another one. Number 10, you want a 28 degree angle. I'm going to put my vertex there. I'm going to come over here and use the other 0. So I'm going to use the scale going left to right. So I'm going to make this little mark on this 0. And that means I'm using the top numbers. So I need to make a mark on my 28. Well, there's 20, there's 30. So I can actually count backwards from 30. Make that little mark right there on the 28. Now I'm going to connect my vertex through each of those points. And again, I don't have to extend it all the way to that point. Remember, rays go on forever. So I'm basically just setting, basically just setting that angle. The length of the rays has nothing to do with the measure of the angle. That's a 28 degree angle. Now, I didn't talk about this back here, but I feel good about this being 110 degrees because that's a big fat angle. It's obtuse. I classified it first. Well, I knew this was acute, so this better be a skinnier angle, and it is. Okay, last one, number 11, you want a right angle. So I'm just going to put my protractor down. I'm going to put a point right here. How can you see this? I'm going to put a point on this 0 because my other 0 is off the paper. And then I'm going to make a little mark here on the 90. And I'm going to connect those. And you can't even see what I'm doing. So I connected my vertex to my 0. I connected my vertex to my 90, which was up here. And I didn't need to extend the rays. The arrowheads do that. So that's what your angles look like.